Good afternoon, Mall fans. Welcome to another edition of Cookie Monster's Small Corner. And hot in from the courier, we have a nice old retro beauty. Yep, poclain 1000. Santa Claus has arrived. So yeah, this was an eBay purchase of a very old machine. The seller has declared there are a few little issues with it, so we'll have a look and see. So this machine is indeed 1:50 scale, made in France by CEF. I'm not too sure what year this was produced, but quite an old machine. So in 1970, when the real machine, the CK1000, was released, it was the largest excavator in the world. For 1970, it really was a beast, weighing 185 tons. It was powered by two Dutz V12 engines, and each engine produced 445 horsepower. Those really were big numbers for 1970. Poclain was a French manufacturer, and this model is produced by a French company, CEF, and I'm assuming that it also would have been produced sometime shortly after 1970. So quite an old model. I'm not expecting much in the way of detail, but it'll be interesting to see. So first thing that strikes you is the lovely red color scheme and the very interesting design of the boom, which is very angular but with added torque tubes in the main lifting boom. So yeah, very interesting boom design indeed. In the rear we've got some detail, some nice little mesh detail. I think it's cast one piece, but it has been painted. The raised pieces have been painted and gives a very good illusion of being perforated. So there she is in all her 1970s glory, and as the seller stated, the rear railings are bent in a little bit, and of course it's always a gamble whether to leave them or straighten them, because as we know, more often than not it will just break. That's something I'll take a look at later on. Let's see if I can adjust. So we have a very interesting bucket linkage style with the twin main bucket pins, which were not very common in design. I think DMAG used quite a similar design, and then a single dog bone bucket link. Usually on most excavators it's a common pin from the hydraulic cylinder to the bucket dog link. So Poclain have used two pins, which is an interesting design. The argument would be more to wear. Also, you could say two to share the load of one, so interesting design. The bottom of the dipper is also hollow, and the bucket link is inserted between the two legs. It's a very interesting design, and DMAG would have used something similar-ish. So yeah, fascinating boom design, and great boom to car body proportions. Some of the larger excavators would be mass excavation style with very stubby short booms. So it's nice to see a large excavator with a reasonable size and length of main boom and dipper. Some fantastic proportions to look at. The model is in okay condition. A nice decal on the rear. No mistaking, it's a poclain 1000. You can see the two exhausts, one from each V12 engine. You see the large boom foot, which again is of 2-pin design. Your smaller excavators would be a single pin. The cabin is the high-rise version with a little riser pod on the bottom. Lots of headroom in this example. You can see the little operator's chair, foot pedals. On the side there's a little decal replicating a grill, which gives an okay effect. Again, very unusual car body shape, very slim, long and wide. So yeah, as a whole, very interesting proportions. That is the manufacturer there, CEF. Some interesting undercarriage detail. Must be a poclain design feature. I'm not sure why or what the function is, whether it folds for transporting or easy assembly, but very interesting nonetheless. I've never seen an undercarriage design like that. The rear is hollow, but still quite a bit of weight to the model. On the rear you can see where the drive motors would be protected, and on the other side it's empty. The tracks, of course, are very basic design with no rollers, either top or bottom. No teeth on the sprocket, and no sprung idler. But I'm glad to say the rubber tracks are intact, as a lot of these can be perished. So yeah, that just about wraps up the review of this very simple model. Quite basic, not very complicated, but just absolutely fantastic. Retro square lines, angular design, unusual car body, and different things like this really catch my eye. Some of the new stuff can be a little boring. So yeah, we'll have a look and see what I have of comparable weight in the 185 to 200 category, and see what they look like beside each other. So not necessarily of the same size category exactly, but nonetheless has every ounce of those square line retro beautiful appeal to it. We have the Liebherr 991, which is a fitting comparison, similar era. Similar size. You can see the Liebherr has a much narrower car body, most likely because, well, in fact I was about to say it doesn't run two engines, but it appears that the Liebherr probably does have two engines going by the air filters. I've just realised I'm missing an exhaust. So yeah, the Liebherr has a much narrower body and also has two engines. Those would be the main differences. Poclain sits a little lower. So yeah, that wraps up today's little review. If you enjoyed it and you want to see more new models, old models, second hand, lucky dips, click subscribe, ring the notifications bell, will let you know when I put a new video on. If you enjoyed the video, give me a thumbs up. Drop a comment, tell me what you'd like to see next.